It has not received the 10-year review of the National Development Plan, and it's yet to be discussed. The National Planning Commission was meant to publicly release that report on Tuesday, but was abruptly stopped as Cabinet had not yet been briefed about it. But copies of this report had already been distributed to the media and embargoed till Tuesday. The report shows government missed most economic targets and is moving in the wrong direction. Senior reporter Moloto Moloko has been covering this story for us. Joining us now, Moloko, you were at the briefing post the cabinet meeting that happens on a Wednesday, and the Minister and the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, giving feedback about what happened in cabinet, touching on a number of issues. But you raised this issue of this report that was supposed to mark the 10 years of the NDP, and it was abruptly stopped. And you were there on Tuesday when that happened, but you put the question today to Minister Ntshavheni.
Yes, that is very true, Braden. The minister in the presidency, who is also spokesperson to Cabinet, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, of course, briefing the media about a whole range of issues that they discussed. The extreme weather patterns that have led to some devastation in other parts of the Eastern Cape and the Western Cape. They are saying that there's a possibility that that devastation might even go towards other provinces. So the people of South Africa must just be on the lookout, then take care of themselves. But also the cabinet is also concerned about the avian flu, which they are saying, if allowed to continue, may end up threatening the food security.
Yeah, I mean, already there's talk about the prices of eggs and chicken that might go up ahead of the festive season. Tough times.
Yeah, and they are saying, we don't want to unnecessarily import more chickens. We want to ramp up production and make sure that we stem this particular avian flu. Then came the issue of the 10-year review report of the National Development Plan. On Tuesday, the National Planning Commission, which is appointed by the President, by the way, to assist in the implementation of the National Development Plan, called a media briefing to announce and make public that review plan. And at the 11th hour, Braden, the media briefing was cancelled. Our sources told us that the minister, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, called to stop that particular briefing. It was meant to be addressed by another minister in the presidency, Marupini Ramokgopa, who is also the chairperson of the National Planning Commission. And the reason was because you cannot brief the public and the media before you present this report to Cabinet. And therefore, we had the Secretariat of that particular commission saying they would present it to Cabinet. That was yesterday. This did not happen, all because of the time constraints, because today the President is hosting the Prime Minister of Lesotho on the South Africa-Lesotho biannual commission. Now, what is bizarre here, Braden, is that the President was briefed on the 1st of August individually, and they also briefed the Deputy President. Yes, this, we understand, never made its way to Cabinet, despite the fact that Minister Ramokgopa is member of Cabinet. Now, what is also interesting is that on the 8th of August, there was a Cabinet meeting, and on the 10th, Cabinet issued out a statement, and they said they acknowledge the 10-year review of the National Development Plan, which they said it is indicating that the economy is unable to benefit the majority of the people. So which report are you acknowledging if it never served before you? Especially because just 2 days back, as we are saying on Tuesday, they stopped that and said, come and present before Cabinet. But it was the unceremonious cancellation of that briefing that really raised the eyebrows to say, these are the planners at a very high level. Does it mean two Cabinet ministers did not speak? By the way, a night before, that was on Monday night, Minister Ramokgopa was tweeting that she's going to release this report. She was nowhere to be seen on that day after a decision was taken to cancel it. Even the deputy chairperson, who is Professor Tenyuko Maluleke, also left and did not want to speak to this. We understand that some of the commissioners were unhappy with the decision of government to cancel this. As we speak, Braden, despite the fact that the National Planning Commission has not briefed the nation, those copies are there on the website of the National Planning Commission, despite the fact that it has not been discussed in Cabinet. But let me give you just a taste of what they are saying, the National Planning Commissioners. They are saying we have made insignificant progress in implementing the objectives or the targets of the National Planning Development Plan, they are also saying that not only did we miss many of the economic targets, but they are going into a wrong direction. But also they are saying the state is increasingly corrupt. Today, of course, I asked Minister Ntshavheni to say, has it presented its report to Cabinet? Do you agree with their findings or not? And she said, no, it hasn't served. But also she is saying, look, people are giving me too much credit when they say that I stopped that thing. She doesn't deny, but she's also not confirming. Maybe let's listen to her.
In terms of the briefing of the National Commission, the National Planning Commission, I think people are giving me too much credit of what I do not know. The fact of the matter is that the National Planning Commission report has not served in Cabinet. They started a process of consulting, which they went into I think the DG's meeting cluster, and that's the basis of the August 10th statement, but they have not briefed Cabinet. The Planning Commission is set up for purposes of assisting government to achieve its goals on the National Development Plan, the Vision 2030, and which the medium-term strategic framework is based. And that medium-term strategic framework is the responsibility of Cabinet. We cannot release the report, anyone cannot release reports that affect government, about government programs, which is the medium-term strategic framework which we are implementing to achieving the NDP, without briefing Cabinet. The NPC, or the 10-year review of the NDP, and the Sustainable Goals report by the Statistician General were supposed to have been tabled yesterday in Cabinet.